Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Jayo Radha Madhav, Radha Madhav, Radha Madhav, Jayo Radha Madhav. Jayo Panchatattva, 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 Jayo Panchatattva. Nisimhadev, 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 Jayo Jai Nisimhadev, 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 Jai Nisimhadev, Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Jayo Prabhupada. Shri Radha Madhava Sakis ki jai, Panchatattva ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parvicharya Shotara Shata Shishimad, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada ki jai, Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parvicharya Shotara Shata Shishimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki jai, प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री द्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपाल गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंज राधा कुंज गिरि गोवर्धन की जय, वृंदावन धाम की जय, मथुरा धाम की जय, नवद्वीप धाम की जय, जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय, गंगामाई यमुनामाई की जय, भक्ति देवी तुलसी देवी की जय, संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय, बृहन मृदंग की जय, समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय, गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 1, Chapter 8, Text number 7. Amaniryam Amantriya Pandu Putram Sham Shaine Yodavam Samjuta Dvaipayanandibir we pray, Pujitaish, Pratipujita, Amantriya Pandu Putramscha, Shaine Yodava Sumjata, Shaine Yodava Samjuta, Dvaipayanadabir Viprai, Pujita Prati Pujita, Amanantra Pandu Putramscha, Shaine Yodava Samjata, Dvaipayanadibir Viprai, Pujita Ipati Pujita. Prabhus. Amantriya Pandu Putramscha, Shaine Yodava Samjuta, Dvaipayana Viprai, Pujitai Prati Pujita. Matajis. Amantriya Pandu Putramscha, Shaine Yodava Samjuta, Dvaipayana Vipraya, Pujitai Pratipujita, Amantriya Pandu Putramscha, Shaine Yodava Samjita, Vaipayana Divir Viprai, Pujitai Prati Pujita, Aman Pandu Putran, all the sons of Pandu, Cha, also, Shaineya, Satyaki, Udava, Samjuta, accompanied, Dvaipayana Abidi, by the rishis like Vedavyasa. We pray by the brahmanas, Pujita, being worshipped, Pratipujita, the Lord also reciprocated equally. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada. Lord Shri Krishna then prepared for his departure. He invited the sons of Pandu, after having been worshipped by the Brahmanas, headed by Srila Vyasadeva. The Lord also reciprocated greetings. Purport. Apparently Lord Shri Krishna was a Kshatriya and was not worshipable by the Brahmanas, but the Brahmanas present there, headed by Srila Vyasadeva, all knew him to be the personality of Godhead, and therefore they worship him. The Lord reciprocated the greetings just to honor the social order that the Kshatriyas is obedient to the order of the Brahmanas. Although Lord Shri Krishna always offered respects due the Supreme Lord from all responsible quarters, the Lord never deviated from the customary usages between the four orders of society. The Lord purposely observed all these social customs so that others would follow him in the future. Translation one more time. Lord Shri Krishna then prepared for his departure. He invited the sons of Pandu, after having been worshipped by the Brahmanas, headed by Srila Vyasadeva. The Lord also reciprocated greetings. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashta Putra Shimati Jaya Pataka Swami Navine Namo Acharya Padaya Nitai Kripodane Gora Kata Damadaya Nagra Kamutarini Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashta Bhutale Shimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Navine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharne Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Desha Tarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadatara Shiva Sadigora Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vanchakalpa Tarvyascha Kripa Sindhupya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Nama Namaha. Hare Krishna, thank you very much for coming today. There's been some small change in the schedule, so I just found out last night about the class today, but still I hope I'm not going to disappoint you. So first of all, I wish you all Happy New Year. Happy New Bengali Year. The Bengali Year, the name is, and I hope I'm not going to misspell wrong, it's Pohela Boishak, right? Pohela Boishak. Or Bangla Novo Borshel. Is it? More or less. You don't understand. You don't know. So this is actually, this tradition of Bengali New Year started long time ago. It's not something just started from yesterday. It was from many centuries ago, and it's actually beginning of very auspicious first month in the new year, and that month usually the Hindus, they do a lot of pujas and a lot of different sacrifices, and they offer a lot of nice preparations to the Lord. And it's start of new seasons in agriculture. Basically, the way how they manage the whole year is that starting when you start basically the most successful part of the year considering the agriculture. And this is actually, what is happening right now. The rains are coming, so it's new year also for the farmers and for different class of the people. Go back to our business. Our business are Srila Prabhupada books and Srimad Bhagavatam. So at the moment we are in canto number 1, chapter number 8, the prayers by Queen Kunti, and text number 7. Basically we are on the Ganges River right now, and most of those who survived the battle on Kurukshetra, they all grouped together because the most important person between them, the Lord Krishna himself, is about to leave, to go back to Dwaraka after staying for a long time before and during battle of Kurukshetra. Everyone, including the 5 Pandavas, their mother Queen Kunti, Draupadi, and others, they are in the grief right now. Even Dhritarashtra was there. They're in the grief for all those who left them, who passed away during the battle on Kurukshetra. And they're lamenting for those, and even more important for them, and why they're losing their mind even more, is because Krishna is about to leave. So they know that this is something that they cannot stop. They know that Krishna will go back to Dwaraka, but at the same time, that they are offering prayers again and again, trying at least to take a little bit more of time, few more seconds, few more minutes more with the Lord, and at the same time to greet Him on the proper way and to ask Him all the different kind of benefits. So after this particular verse, there is a very interesting part of the chapter is coming, where the Queen Kunti, the mother of 5 Pandavas, is offering her prayers, and this is one of the perfect examples how we should offer prayers to the Lord. And even there is a separate book. I remember when we started Sankirtan in the 90s, there was the Mother Kunti's prayers, and it's really amazing. It's exemplary how should approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead without deviations, speculations, and the right way to offer obeisances and to ask for the benefits, for the blessings. So Today we will discuss two different topics. First of all, we will discuss whether the Lord Krishna, when he left Pandavas, when he went back to Dwaraka, and he left them to lead the kingdom, after all prayers of Mother Kunti, after even meeting the Yudhishthir, after going to have the last words with the Bhishma Dev, who was about to pass away, whether he really left them or he still stayed with them, and which part of him left and which part of him stayed. And this is very important for our lives, because we want to have association of Krishna all the time, and we will discuss about how to achieve that, how to have association of the Lord all the time. And one very important topic for all of us, but not just for us, but for everybody on this planet, is how to make our life beautiful. How really, what we can do to make life to be really amazing life, to be beautiful life. So, first of all, right now this particular verse is important for us, because Krishna is already on the chariot. Krishna is already about to leave, and everybody is around him. And in the same time, they want to have some insurance. They want to have something that Krishna never going to lead them, actually. They already knew, and we will come back to that particular topic, that Krishna left Vrindavan a long time ago, but he never really left Vrindavan. And how is that possible? He never really left all his close associates in Vrindavan. Now, in the later verse of the same chapter, number 8, one of verses which are probably most important between all prayers of Mother Kunti is verse number 39. Nejam sobishyate tatra yadedanim gadadar tvatpadai rakita bhati svalakshana vilashitai. Verse 39, 1.8.39. So translation of that verse is, O Gadadhar, our kingdom is now being marked by impressions of your feet, and therefore it appears beautiful, but when you leave, it will no longer be so. So Mother Kunti, Queen Kunti, she approached and she was telling Krishna, when you leave, nothing will be same. Everything will be different. Our kingdom now looks beautiful, and we went through all different obstacles and we survived, and we are never stronger, and everything looks so opulent because of your presence. But once your footprints will stay in that dust, and then wind will take the dust away, and even those footprints will disappear, what we're going to do? Our kingdom never going to be same. And that's the question, actually, that every person who is trying to approach the Lord, who is trying to make relationship with the Lord, is always doubting whether Krishna is present in his life or not, how much is present, how we can recognize that presence, and is there some moments that Krishna just leaves us alone? We all have hard moments in our lives when we feel that there is nobody. Whether that's true or not, we will discuss about that, and why even these kind of moments happen in someone's life. So, the Chanaka Pandit, the famous Chanaka Pandit, the biggest Pandit of his time, who wrote many different amazing verses, who give us a lot of wisdom, he wrote one very, very interesting verse as part of his masterpieces, and the verse is Sharvari Bhushanam Chandra, Priviti Bhushanam Raja, Naritam Bhushanam Pati, Vidya Sarvasya Bhushanam. So he's saying basically that everything looks beautiful when one is related with something in very intimate relationship. Just like in the night sky becomes very beautiful when there is a moon. But when there is not a moon, the sky is not that beautiful. It's very dark. The sky is there, west sky at night, but of the full moon night, those are Prabhupada who is transcribing this verse of Chanaka Pandit. Then I will give a translation. When the moon is there and the stars are there brilliantly, it looks very beautiful, very nice. So similarly, when you have a state, when you have a country, the country or state looks beautiful when there is a good government, when there is the good king, when there is the presence of the good president. Let's put it this way, because we have mostly presidents now those days. Then everybody is happy. Everything is going very nicely in that country, in that state. Similarly, he's mentioning Narinam Bhushinam Pati, talking about girl. When you have a beautiful look girl, girls are naturally beautiful, but they look very beautiful when they're protected, when they're under protection of father, under protection of husband, and when they have children later to protect them in the life. And that's really when the beauty of the girl is coming out in the full bloom. Then Vidya Sarvasya Bhushanam. Even if some person doesn't have proper material, it's not beautiful, it's not mostly opulent. If he has the Vidya, if he has knowledge, he's becoming beautiful. You probably notice even some devotees whose appearance is not that amazing, they don't shock immediately everyone. When they start talking, if they really have the knowledge of the Lord, they feel attracted, they look attracted. Because that knowledge itself is glory which is shining out of them. That Vidya is actually part which are connecting them with the Lord Krishna. And actually they illuminate the whole that beauty and purity of the words which they're saying. And therefore the Chanakya Pandit is saying that that's the beauty of the man, the knowledge, the Vidya. So, on the same way, the beauty of Vaishnava's life is actually when we have the Krishna at the center of our life. If Krishna is at the center, the whole life looks beautiful, and we can call ourselves a very fortunate souls. In the case if the Lord is not in the center, then the attempt to create beautiful life, and many people on this planet are trying on many different ways, they won't be successful in that attempt, because the most important part is missing, and that's the Lord. Srila Prabhupada mentioned one time Mahatma Gandhi, the great Indian leader, who was trying to do a great benefits for the country, who was trying to help poor people, innocent people to grow, to bloom. He was basically making different communities around India, trying to club people together to do the farming, to do everything together, but somehow even after so many attempts, still people were not that happy. Their lives were not that wonderful. And Srila Prabhupada is saying that's because only one part of the divine plan was missing. I mean, Srila Prabhupada was a big supporter of Mahatma Gandhi in early age. He was saying what was missing is because Krishna was not in the center. That was the part which was missing in Mahatma Gandhi's plan. So that's why Srila Prabhupada is saying that we have to remain Krishna conscious. In the Los Angeles 1973, the main mob first, Srila Prabhupada gave a wonderful class. Exactly, the class was from the chapter number 8, from the praise of Queen Kunti. And he's saying that if you always keep Krishna within your mind, just like when the sun is there, there cannot be any darkness. Similarly, if you keep Krishna Surya, the Krishna sun, Krishna is just like brilliant sunshine, and the Maya, or ignorance, is just like the darkness. But when or while or where the sun is there, there cannot be any darkness. Similarly, you keep Krishna in consciousness always, there cannot be ignorance. There cannot be any darkness. You will be walking very freely in bright sunshine of Krishna. Don't try to make Krishna absent. That's an important part of his saying. Don't try to make Krishna absent. We are always trying to make Krishna absent. It's not that he's going away from us. We are making him that he looks that he's absent. That is Kunti's prayer. My dear Krishna, you are going to Dwaraka. This is an example. They are not going. Krishna is never going from Pandavas actually. So, Srila Prabhupada just give us a glimpse here that if we put Krishna in the center, he's actually never going. And then further he is explaining in second part of the class, when they asked a question, he was saying, you should understand, it's just like Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, when Krishna left Vrindavan for Mathura, so in the Shastra it said, Vrindavanam patriyajya napadam ekam gachati. I was looking for that verse because Prabhupada mentioned more than 30 times this part of the verse, and I could not find where is the source of this verse. And finally I find there is some Jamala Tantra quoted by Laghu Bhagavatam 1.8.7. But the point is that it said something that we all know, that Krishna does not go even one step ever from Vrindavan. And when we said Vrindavan, we also think Mayapur, because Mayapur is not different than Vrindavan. So he doesn't go. He is so much attached to Vrindavan. Then we see that Krishna left Vrindavan, went to Mathura. So how is that? He went so far away and did not return for many years. No, actually Krishna did not leave Vrindavan. Because since Krishna left Vrindavan, all the gopis, they were simply thinking of Krishna and crying. That's all. That was their business. Mother Yashodananda, Maharaj, Radharani, all the gopis, all the cows, all the calves, all the cowhead boys. Their only business was to think of Krishna and cry, in absence, in separation. And then in Brahma Samhita in 537, it stated, the third line is Golaka eva nivashtu akilatma bhuta. It's stated actually that Krishna himself never leaves Golaka Vrindavan. He's always staying in Golaka Vrindavan with all his permanent associates. So how is it possible that Krishna never leaves us here if he's there all the time? And then Srila Prabhupada also explains that Krishna is like a sun. Sun always stays in one place, but it doesn't matter if sun is so far away from us, still we can feel his rays and his warmth all the time, and he's always there. Even Krishna promised that he will be there all the time. He promised that he will stay with us all the time, and he never leaves us. Only who can leave is us, who can behave on the way that Krishna is not there now. Okay, now Krishna, please come. Okay, now Krishna, please don't be in my life. Okay, come back. We are playing with that important opportunity, not him. He is always there to give us shelter, to give us mercy. So, basically, after all prayers of Mother Kunti, on the end, one of the last verses, one of the last prayers in 842 verse, 1.8.42, Mother Kunti is saying, Trajimenanya Vishaya, Mati Madhupate Sakrit, Ratim Udavadah Ada, Gangeva Utam Udayanti. Kunti Devi is saying, O Lord of Madhu, as the Ganges forever flows to the sea without hindrance, let my attraction be constantly drawn up to you without being diverted to anyone else. And this is the best advice that one who is trying to be Vaishnava can get from anybody. You should feel the perfection of these words. That as the Ganges forever flows the sea without hindrance, let my attraction be constantly drawn unto you without being diverted to anyone else. I mean, Mother Kunti, she's a very powerful person. She has a lot of obligations. She has a big family. She has a lot of duties in her life. But she believes and she knows that still she can perform all these duties without her attention to be diverted from the Lord, from the Krishna. That means it's possible. That means we still can perform our duties and being connected with the Lord all the time. And there's some amazing examples in the past also, a little bit closer, not 5,000 years ago, but a little bit closer. First of all, Narada Muni is such a great example. The person who saw only Krishna once, and that was before even he left his material body. Everything else, any communication with the Lord after was through his prayers, through his songs, wherever he can even travel to the spiritual world and come back. He is always absorbed in worshipping the Lord through the prayers, through meditation, and spreading his glories through different universes. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, very important is the way how Narada Muni got present in the whole Lila. Do you know who is the person that Narada Muni came and became in Chaitanya Lila? Sorry? Narada Muni came in Chaitanya Lila as one person, but that person actually joined the Chaitanya Lila after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left. He never saw him. Narottam Das Thakur. You know, he had amazing life, and all his songs, all he moved was in separation to the Lord. He was always trying to get the Lord mercy through that mood of separation. When he came first time to Mayapur, it took him a long time to come here for the first time. When he came finally, he was crying out all these streets which we are walking every day. He was looking for the Lord. He was saying, my dear Lord, never nothing looks same as when you were walking those streets. Those streets were shining and glowing in the light, and now everything is dark and everything, you know, is missing because you're not there. When he approached the Yoga pit, there was still the old house was there, the house where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born, and he started offering obeisances to the walls of the house, to the colors inside of the rooms, because they were witnesses. They were witnesses of Lord's pastimes, and he was not. So basically, a lot of songs of Narottam Das Thakur was written in that mood of separation. But whether he was really separated from the Lord? No. He was with Lord Krishna all the time. He always had his association. Only the mood was association in separation, in the absence. And this is one of the most dear connections that Krishna likes to have with devotees. But it is very, very intimate relationship. Now another aspect, another topic I would like to touch is, because we got, the festival is finished and many devotees who came, they left their homes, and mostly who is now here are full-time Mayapur devotees. So I would like to touch a little bit also about how we can make our lives perfect here in Mayapur, how we can get that benefit of getting connection with the Lord Krishna, getting the full benefit of we are staying in the Holy Dham, and trying to serve the Holy Dham in the proper way, trying to serve Vaishnavas and trying to get the best out of it. So, Srila Prabhupada, he introduced in very early stages of his presence in America. Even before that, I was reading some statements from 1947, 1949, 1952. The concept of simple living, high thinking. Usually in the Kali Yuga it's opposite. I mean, there is a big question, why only in Kali Yuga we have computers, we have internet, we have TVs, we have gadgets, we have fancy cars, we have fancy buildings, we have fancy swimming, everything is fancy. There's a new word, fancy. and basically everything has to be shiny and special, and this is what we call civilization. And Prabhupada was using another term for that, another word. He was calling it distraction. Distraction for path to perfection of spiritual life. Everything which takes away our thoughts from the thoughts towards Lord Krishna is distraction only. That's why he was saying the best way for Vaishnavas is to have a simple life, simplest as possible. And his great desire when he sent his first ambassadors, his first disciples to Mayapur, to India, was actually to try to develop such projects where they will introduce that concept of simple living, high thinking, and try to create a large communities of devotees who will follow that concept. Srila Prabhupada was never talking about some fancy factories and big businesses and blooming of all the different real estates and everything else. He was talking about self-sufficiency all the time. In more than 30 occasions he mentioned self-sufficiency. regarding Mayapur, more than 30 times. And when he said self-sufficiency, it means that he wanted devotees to have a food production, that he wanted devotees to have to make their own cloth. He also wanted devotees to have cows, to have milk all the time, and different milk products. And he wanted them to start helping each other to situate it properly, in a simple way, and to start the rest of the time which they have free to do preaching. Even Prabhupada was saying you don't need to do crops all the time. You can do 3-4 months per year. The rest of time just go and preach. Just do Sankirtan. Recently I was listening one class from Mahendra Prabhu. It was interesting. Somebody sent me. And just one part, a portion of that class, and he was saying, do you know what is Sankirtan? He was saying Sankirtan is shortcut of Sangha Kirtan. And Sangha Kirtan means that devotees are spending time together doing the useful things, serving each other and serving the Lord. Through Kirtan, or through Bhajan, or through different activities. But Sangha is the most important. That's why Kirtan is not Kirtan Sang. It's Sankirtan. So basically, in Mayapur we have a lot of Sankirtan, we have a lot of Sangha. And we should use that synergy together and the quality to fulfill the mission of Srila Prabhupada. He was giving one lecture in Mayapur 1974 in October 15. All that is connected with today's class, and I will come to that connection in the end. So he's saying, here it said that avidya karma karmanbi. By ignorance, they're all thinking by opening factories, they will be happy. That is avidya. He does not know that this is ignorance. Why you should open a factory? This is called ugra karma. There is no need to open factories. You have got land. Here are so many land. You produce your food grains. Anant bhavanti bhutani. Bhagavad Gita 3:14. You eat food grain, milk, and that will be available without any factory. The factory cannot produce milk or food grain. The present secretary of foodstuff means everybody is engaged in the city, producing both nuts. Who is producing food grain? This is the solution of economic problem. Anand bhavanti bhutani. Therefore, we are trying to engage our men to produce their own food, but self-sufficient, so that these rascals may see how one can live peaceful, eating the food grains and milk and chant Hare Krishna. This is our mission. And then in one letter to Tamal Krishna Maharaj, Jaipatana Maharaj, Bhavananda Prabhu and Gargamuni, Srila was traveling to Melbourne. That was in 1973. It was February, the 10th of February. He was in a plane. And he started thinking about Mayapur. And those thoughts became so strong that he asked his secretary during the flight, when they were reaching Australia, to take out the pen and the notebook and to write down the letter. And he sent a letter to Jayapataka, Bhavananda, Tamal Krishna and Gargamuni. And the letter was written, while traveling here to Melbourne, I was thinking how wonderful our Mayapur project is and how it can be developed in the future. I want that Mayapur be self-sufficient by having its own production of grains, vegetables, fruits and milk products, etc. to the extent that you will be able to feed at least 500 men daily. I mean, this was 1973. 500 was a big number. So this will be better than trying to arrange for maintenance funds to come from outside. So we can make some scheme for purchasing sufficient quantity of land for this. So, and then, I mean, there are many different occasions which Srila Prabhupada is talking about Mayapur and about the whole book. I remember in the beginning of TVP project, and some of you were involved at that time, the Ambarish Prabhu, he wanted one compilation of all statements of Srila Prabhupada, what Srila Prabhupada told about Mayapur and how Mayapur should develop. And he engaged a few devotees here from Mayapur, and they did the book named Srila Prabhupada of Mayapur. Basically, it's some kind of very important publication which I believe personally that every house should have in Mayapur, to remind ourselves where we are, what we're doing here, and how we're supposed to do it. If we want to stay here for a long time, we should have been in line with Prabhupada's vision, with the vision of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So basically, why is this important to connect? Because nobody better understood how we can maintain that life with Krishna in the center from Srila Prabhupada. It's very hard even to question Srila Prabhupada. I need to tell you my personal experience. First, in early 90s, like 91, I joined basically the movement. In the first 2-3 years, I tried to find the flaw, the mistakes in the books of Srila Prabhupada. And I'm sure that some of you also went through some experience like that. You strongly believe, but you don't believe that there is somebody so perfect. That any word where he was saying, any word that he has written, anything, it was so amazing, and it's very hard to find mistake. I mean, how many flaws, how many mistakes we say every day? How many things, if somebody is recording what we are saying, how many mistakes they can find us every day? And Srila Prabhupada had such a long period that basically whatever he said, nobody could really find a serious flaw. It was just, for me, this was mind-blowing. This is perfection. And then later, when I figure out, I surrender. I said, okay, I cannot find mistake here. It's way too perfect for me to understand. Then you understand how much that person can really help us. We don't need to understand who was Srila Prabhupada even. But we know, we believe that he can help us in our lives. And that's why, even whatever he said for our life, how really to put Krishna in the center is something that we should take it very seriously. And he's saying the most important advice for him, if we want to make our life blissful, not just in the Holy Dham, everywhere, is to make our life simple as possible and healthiest as possible. And then next stage of that is coming, which is happiness. We will be happy in our lives. Everything else which makes complication will just be distraction. And if you just do small research, I did research since 5 o'clock in the morning, and I found more than 45 to 50 letters of Srila Prabhupada asking devotees, please live simple life. Simple life will help you to recognize the Lord. Simple life will help you to achieve perfection. Simple life will help you to have Krishna in the center. So therefore, I think that all of us together, I was involved in MCS since 2005. And I can tell you, it's not easy to work with such a big amount of devotees in one place. But the main thing is, if we all try to simplify our lives, our thoughts, if we all try to respect and work together instead of trying to find the flaws in each other, then I believe that we can achieve that perfection. We can help Srila Prabhupada in his mission. And that's definitely connected, because ultimately even advice that, conclusion that Queen Kunti got is actually that the best way to keep Krishna present is to keep him in our minds, in our hearts. And she wants to remember him all the time, the same like how Ganges is flowing interrupted already for many centuries, many thousands of years. And we should follow that example because it's so perfect. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If you have any question or any comment, then I will also have one short comment to say. Yes, Mataji. This book was printed first time by 5,000 copies, and unfortunately it went after 1 year. It was already delivered. At the moment, the Russian devotees, they already got translation. They're preparing for printing. And we also, I just discussed recently with Bhaktivedanta Maharaj that we should print again this book to become available to our devotees, and we started doing Bengali translation as well. So it's very important, because when you go through, you understand how Mayapur could become. It's already an amazing place, but even on material level, even on level of community, of congregation, it could become such amazing project that we all going to be proud and we can use for the preaching. for all different class of people coming and visiting us here. So I'll let you know. We are in touch. Right. My committee, yes, please.
Where is it mentioned that Narada Muni came back as Narottam Das Thakur? We have a sole reference.
There is recently we had a small group of devotees going to Dudgat. Not recently, when it was appearance day of Srila Narottam Das Thakur. And Dudgat is the place where he left body actually when he turned into milk, right? And his deities, the Gauranga deity, is still residing there in the temple, and also it's his samadhi basically, because they make that out of part of that water which was there. And that day actually we took everything what is available on Narottam Das Thakur, and we was reading the whole day in the bus, and also there was devotees, maybe 35 devotees, we went all together over there as a group. And also there is one sources book that Mataji Sitala, the wife of Hari Prabhu, compiled about Narottam Das Thakur. There is one whole book on his life, and there is also few mentions that actually he was all the time in the mood of Narada Muni, and there was beliefs that actually he came actually as the Narada Muni actually descended in the form of Narottam Das Thakur. And I can give you the source. I have the source written.
Because in Gauranga Deepika it's mentioned that Narottam Das Thakur is Champaka Manjari.
Yes.
And even in Sitala Mataji's book, she is referring.
Yes. It was mentioned that actually he was presenting the mood of Narottam Das Thakur. The way how he's chanting his songs, his prayers, it was very much into relationship how Narottam Das Thakur is presenting. So there are certain it's not belief, there are certain representation that actually Narottam Das Thakur, Narada Muni, he was actually descending through him and sending his own mercy, his own prayers. But what you said is true. Officially, the recommendation is that he's descended from Champaka. So it's basically, I understand your point. But it's true that there is explanation that actually that whatever prayers, whatever songs he was writing, they're a lot in the mood of Narottam Das Thakur. Of Narada Muni. Because they're talking in the same way, they're actually, that separation, that kind of mood of Narada Muni, he was always lamenting that he cannot see Krishna, that he's not present, that he just came one time in his life. Narottam Das Thakur was saying he never saw the Lord. He saw the Lord only through different witnesses, and he was always coming a little bit later, like Lochana Das Thakur, Jiva Goswami he met. Whoever he met, they were all giving him that mood, but he was not personally witnessing that, so he was always lamenting.
But he's Srivas Pandit, right? He was present with the Lord himself.
Yes. In the Chaitanya Lila, Narada Muni came as a Srivas Pandit. That's true. I was talking about mood. I was talking about mood of lamentation that Narottam Das Thakur expressed through his literature, through his songs and everything else. Yeah. I will give you where we found that. Actually, maybe I didn't express myself in a proper way, but the point is that I was talking about his mood, his separation mood. That he was being almost at the level of gopis in Vrindavan. Which actually was mood of Narada Muni. Right.
To make a comment. So.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's good actually to clarify. Otherwise somebody will me. Thank you. We have a lot of devotees. Some devotees who also, unfortunately, they got a little bit sick, and I just want to ask all of you if we can all together, pray for all of them and for their inconveniences. And we should all come out from all this unfortunate time, stronger and better. So please just remember in your prayers today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, devotees who are right now, who are right now on oxygen, who are not well, and we have few in Mayapur. And let's hope that they will come up soon, and continue this Sankirtan mission in us. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Pranande, Hari Hari Bol.